Alright, hello, Catherine here, and today I will be talking about American soccer player Alex Morgan, or in pretty much every other part of the world, football and metric system.
Please hang up and try again.
Alright, so Alex Morgan recently had an article written about her that was published on FIFA.com. And the article, since it was published, which was on June 30th, so yesterday, has garnered quite a bit of criticism, in particular about its lead, and I'll read it to you. Alex Morgan is one of the most popular players in USA women's football. A talented goal scorer with a style that is very easy on the eye and good looks to match. She is nothing short of a media phenomenon. Now, judging probably by the name, the title of this video, you can guess that the part of that lead that I will be talking about today is the good looks part. Alright, so first I want to make clear that I don't think it's wrong to think Alex Morgan is attractive. You can think whomever is attractive. It's your opinion about what beauty is, and I'm not going to question that. You do you. And also I want to bring up that the objectification of women, in particular women athletes, I'm also not going to talk about, because that's going to be a much larger video that I simply don't have time to make. And I think you can also make the claim that men are objectified in sports. You see that, for instance, with David Beckham. You know, there's a lot of talk about his looks. So that's an issue that is beyond what I'm going to be talking about. What I think is a problem, and what I've been reading in this particular case with the FIFA article, is that FIFA is the governing body of association football. By them publishing an article about that mentions, in the lead no less, the good looks of a athlete, it's similar to seeing an article published on NFL.com about the good looks of, say, a football player like Aaron Rodgers. I'm just throwing that out there because I saw a video about him twirling like a sword or something. You probably saw it. But yeah, so it's similar in that nature. So that's a problem. I don't think that any sort of governing body of a sport should make any sort of comments about the looks of an athlete. That's not what they're about. They're about sports. That's what they do. They govern sports. So that's an issue. And I think another thing in particular about this issue, or about this article, is that women's sports, and this is an unfortunate fact, are not as respected as men's sports. And I say that because I think that can be demonstrated, just one, if you just go online and look, you know, at message boards or on Twitter, you'll find those people who still believe that women should be playing sports. But then you also look at the fan base, the audience, the media attention. It's just not as much in women's sports as it is in men's sports. With that said, women's sports have made gains. I mean, you know, you talk about decades ago, that just women's sports just they weren't a thing. So it has improved, but I think it's important to remember that women's sports are still not there yet. And you have these athletes like Alex Morgan, who, you know, for Alex Morgan, soccer isn't just her career, it's her passion. And so she goes out there on the field every day, probably, or almost every day, and she and others use their athleticism, their soccer playing skills, to try to bring respect to what they do, to what they love, try to validate what they do, legitimize their careers. And so I think at the end of the day, when you talk about FIFA, you talk about other sports-oriented websites, publications, the focus should remain on athletes' athleticism, their ability to play sports or to just do sports. And even and you look at this FIFA article, and the majority of the article is about her abilities as a soccer player, but even talking just a little bit about her looks takes the focus just a bit off her athleticism and kind of takes a step back in what these female players are trying to do. I would like to get your opinions on the matter. If you like what I said, please give it a thumbs up so I know. If you don't, I guess you can give it a thumbs down. That's gonna make me sad, but whatever. But also, if you have something to add, please leave a comment, or if you want to message me, if you don't want everyone to see it, then I also am open to that, and I hope that at least this wasn't a total waste of your time. That's what I say about most conversations in my life. At least this wasn't a total waste of your time talking to me or listening to me.